I'm sensing the storm coming through.
We're almost going live here. I mean, we are live, but we're almost ready to be live. So you guys can watch us prep for our opening scene.
Have we just have the opening scene?
Let's do it.
Let's just have it. We're not even gonna prep for it.
Right, we got a big paintball storm coming through. Oh God, big storm coming through. We're gonna talk about paintball stuff. No matter what happens, I don't care if we get flooded or if the storm take me away. We're gonna talk about old school paintball. We're gonna talk about new guys at the same time. Oh God, Dan, back to you.
Got it.
Guys, this is high production. If anyone asks, this is high production.
That's our intro for this week. That's Benji recognizing the horrific weather events that we've been going through. Not just...
It's an homage to the paintball reporter.
Yeah, an homage to the paintball reporter in Florida who... Well, he wasn't actually a reporter, he was a storm chaser. And yeah, there's a video of him. I don't know what he's actually holding, but it's like some device that must be sensing like the...
It is judging how fast the wind is.
Yeah.
Wait, and he's wearing a paintball mask?
He's wearing a paintball mask.
Come on,
Are you
Conor.
serious?
You
I haven't seen
gotta
it.
see these things. Okay, I'll bring it up right now.
Okay.
Alright, I should not do acting.
Say the singing, you're already good at singing. That's your thing. But it was a good skit.
Yeah,
You can try it. So this is him right here, Conor, with the mask blown off. But the
Oh, do you have
video
the picture in the background?
is definitely more prolific.
Oh, God.
You guys are awesome. Well,
Yeah.
they can't see the video.
No, they can't. But anyway, those are
All
some
right.
images of him.
Well, welcome. This is PBDnA, a little paintball talk show where we talk about whatever we want, really.
Yeah, really. Although we do have a pretty wide list of things we're talking about today, but
That's right. Give a little rundown of what we're talking about today. We are talking about the Predator that ended on eBay this week and other Predators that have sold this week. Those are Predator autocockers, obviously. We're talking about, let's see, NXL Chicago, Impact wins. What do we think about that? We got Andre's Hot Rod build. Andre is, we're doing week 2 of Andre's autococker build project. So if you're trying to build an autococker pump or a semi, make sure to watch that. We're going to talk about the SMG68 that I brought and Dan's SMG68.
There might be a duel in the mix.
Oh, dual SMG68. It's very smart.
I mean, I don't want to clickbait anybody, but...
Then we got
Can you show it
Connor.
to my
Connor
page?
got his new Phantom.
I'll do that
wants to
right now.
show
I
off
can do
a
it on
little
this
bit.
one if you
Yeah.
want me to.
Any Phantom lovers will love that. We're going to talk about the Dye DSR, the new dye gun, which is pretty freaking badass in my opinion. We're going to talk about the Dye stainless barrels. Dan and I brought out 10 or so, actually more like 20 different Dye stainless barrels and earlier Aaron Carter barrels that all have just subtle differences, and we thought it was pretty cool, so we thought you would also. We got the slow motion paintball guys doing a paintball collision that Paul's going to talk about.
Me?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
the most knowledge about frame rate per second.
Exactly. You're going to tell us what it took for them to get that paintball collision on tape. And then we got a bunch of cool guns and paintball history to talk about. And as always, send us a comment, message if you want us to talk about something else. or if you just want to troll us.
Yeah, or some trolling.
Yeah, we definitely.
I noticed that there was this
trolls.
epic troll, Jorge Cervantes, who hasn't been like messing with us for a while, so I'm kind of let down.
Definitely a huge letdown.
All right, well, why don't we start?
Maybe he has the flu.
Andre, you want to start us off
with
with your hot rod build, or Dan, did you want someone else?
Do you want to just go? Let's just follow this. This seems
Alright.
pretty good.
We're gonna follow the schedule.
So
Yeah.
NXL first?
First up.
Yeah.
The NXL, so AC Dallas won second place. They're a pretty new team. I think they've been playing professional for 2 years now.
Their jump up.
Their coach is Greg Pauly, who's a legend in the sport. He obviously created teams such as Omaha Vicious, and I don't know. Has Vicious been around for a while?
Yeah,
Bachi? Yeah. So I think
Vicious has been around for a while. Not since '80s or so, but they've been around for a very long time. Now, AC Dallas had a lot of issues with losing players left and right. So they're playing with a team that really hasn't been together all that long. And also, even cooler was they only brought 6 players. So for those of you that don't know, they're playing 5-on-5, but these teams are playing back-to-back points. And, you typically get gassed pretty quickly, so you have actually players on the roster that quickly sub in. AC Dallas came with 6 players for a 5-man team, which means they were playing a ton of points and still got second place, almost beat Impact in an overtime point. AC Dallas, I hope you guys take it next year.
Yeah, they unfortunately lost a lot of
Or next
players
event.
to I know that Houston
Russian
team.
Legion.
Yeah, so AC Dallas was previously known as like the VCK boys, Vancouver Killers. They're basically people our age who started playing paintball and digital paintball, and they loved digital paintball so much I think they decided to make a team. And then once they went pro, they went under the Vicious umbrella, which is like I said, coached by Greg Pauly. And yeah,
One
they
of
got
the best coaches of all time.
Exactly. And they got second place recently, which is great for them. After losing, so many players
Yeah,
to
and this is a team
top
that
teams.
isn't as heavily sponsored as some of the other teams. So, they really grind to get their practice in and to make sure they're on top of their game. It's nice to see them up there.
So wait, they got together first in digital paintball? Like,
No.
I don't know if there's validity to that. That's Paul's assertion.
So
Is
they
that just because you play digital paintball?
they used
Shout
to,
out to Digital Paintball. If you guys aren't playing it, play it. We got our homies in the Valley.
Dave Equipment and Jeff Equipment.
Exactly.
We even
They're
charged for
making
that.
fresh layouts each week almost.
No, every
each
event they make a layout for you.
Right.
The NX.
Oh, to actually correspond with it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
So if you want it, you can download Steam for under $10, and Digital Paintball is free. And then you can just mess around and play, or you can actually play and practice for events. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, well that's enough for NXL. Next up, the Predator Cocker. Paul is going to bring up a couple graphics on that Predator.
Is it
All right,
working?
Dan. So
No, it's not working right. It should say
What's up right
external.
now?
Oh, we're going with audio off the computer because our external audio is not coming up correctly.
So
So
Paul's going to
working
bring
on
up
that.
the graphics now, and Dan's fixing the audio. But
Trying to.
the big story this week is a left feed Predator went on eBay for $4,350.
Still not working right, huh?
Wow, that's insane. I think the only gun recently that I've seen go that
Check our
close
comments.
was
See what our comments are doing.
whose was it? Billy Saransky's Shock Tech Cocker, which went for $6,000. Not quite the same way. It was sold a different way. I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, this gun went for $4,350. Now it's not just your normal Predator because it's a team edition. It's left feed. Dan, what else is special on it?
Those are the main things. Supposedly the serial number corresponds with the serial number list that the Predators have from their classic guns.
So the Predator team actually had a list of all the serial numbers and which team member owned which gun. So you'll know if you have a team gun. But the crazy thing is, the team gun went for
Probably.
$4,350, and 2 more normal Predator autocockers sold for $1,200 a piece this week. So, is the team version worth an extra $3,000?
My question is, did the guy actually pay? Because you could always bid $3,000 something. Are you gonna pay for it? 'Cause
Right.
it's
I
either-
heard a lot of people saying that people were going to run up the bid and then not pay and then try to offer the guy a different price because it was sold from a pawn shop.
Yeah.
So who knows? He might be up for it. But with that many bids, I would think that he's got many people sending him messages trying to get that sold off the books.
I mean, was it a bunch of different people bidding on it, or was it just
ton of people.
like a few people going back and
There were a
forth?
lot of people bidding on it. Now that one was sold on eBay. The normal Predator autocockers were sold on PBNation and M. Carter Brown. So I'm wondering if those were put on eBay, just how much they would get. Maybe $1,800.
Yeah.
But it's just pretty insane to see a gun sell for that much. The only other ones I've seen go close to that much are the Westwood Cockers, which go for $2,500, $3,000. Paul, what other guns go for that?
3,000.
3,000.
The Westwoods. I think that's about
You
it.
got some of the super limited matrices can go for 2,000.
Oh yeah, like electronic guns. There's like the NTD Matrix, which is
Right. What
good
else? We got
3,000.
some rare intimidators like the
Hellwood,
Hellwood Intimidator.
the Mama's Boys, the
Right.
NorCal Intimidator. They go for like 3,000.
We got the Cat Flame Matrix, which goes for about 2,000.
I actually found one
When?
like yesterday,
How
and
much was it?
well, the guy originally posted it for 1,400 last year, and I asked him, I was like, "Hey, I'm willing to pay 1,400 for that." And he's like, "Well, I'm not willing to sell it anymore." So I was like, "Wow, like damn."
All right.
So I missed
we
out
got a
on
couple
that.
comments. Brandon Davis says that a zero feedback bidder won the 4,300.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So I don't know if he's actually gonna get paid from that guy.
Nope.
He's probably just some guy who's like, if I can't have it, no one can have it. 4,300.
Yeah, I'm gonna start another account and just screw this whole thing up and then run the price up.
Yeah.
It happens in every
that's a
industry,
bummer.
man. It sucks.
But really, come on, 4,350? That is insane.
No, 43.50, and you're not any more competitive than another guy
Well,
who's playing better, and it doesn't make you better.
Yeah.
It's just
I
a
mean,
collector.
anyone-
It's at that point, it just goes on your wall.
I think that most of these people spending 1,500 to 2,000 or more on a gun are probably sticking it on their wall. I don't know that many people that use guns that are really priced that much.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anybody watching us, do you have a $2,000+ gun that you use? If so, send us a picture of you using it.
Yeah. Or if you don't want to let people know that you have a $2,000+ gun, tell us you have a friend that you know that
Shout
has
out
a
to your friend.
I mean,
$2,000.
it is
I mean-
something that you can just say you do also. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people with, very expensive guns, but most of them are on the wall, for sure. I can't get guns that expensive because I have to use the guns that I get in, which is why I've brutalized my evolution already. Let's see.
I try to build the cheapest marker humanly possible.
And actually that brings us into our next segment,
Oh.
Andre's Hot Rod Build.
Does it? Oh, that's
So
nice.
Andre is building up an autococker. He's trying to build it up for around $200. He's building an autococker pump. He's trying to do it for around $200 with widely available parts, and he's trying to make it really tuned to his level.
Yes.
So, go ahead.
So last week, thank you, Benji. So last week we talked about different styles of pump guns and what style bodies that were out there, and I chose an autococker body because it's very readily available, and in today's market, Dan obviously let us know that something like a Nelson body is equally as customizable, but those parts are getting harder to find. So we're going to go with something that's readily available in today's market. So cocker bodies there's just so much you can do with it.
There's a dime a dozen.
They're a dime a dozen, literally. I chose a pre-2K, not for old school reasons, but because I'm lefty and it's right feed, so makes it a lot easier for me to look down the barrel. So obviously that was my choice. I'll show you what I got.
Yeah. For people who haven't tried a right feed gun, I recommend you try it because I use one as my main gun and I find it just very easy to sight.
That's the body you're using?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is a body out of Bacci's collection. It's just a slightly milled down right feed body.
And it's just, I think it's like powder coated, or it's not rattle canned because it looks, well, it could be rattle canned. You know what? It doesn't matter.
That's
Because
anode
it's
and
perfect.
milled down.
Yeah.
It's definitely not anodized.
For
Yeah,
sure.
no, it's pretty sure it's rattle can.
It's pretty beefy. It's like
Yeah.
dude.
Let me see that.
Yeah, dude. It's
Pretty
like
glossy.
it's like
You're right.
yeah, it's like enamels.
I mean,
You are right.
You know,
parts of it are anodized.
parts are anode, parts
Yeah,
are
look
not.
good.
Honestly, man, it looks great as is. I kind of like the fact that it is paint. It'll chip off as time goes on, and it'll look nastier and meaner.
Right.
And so that's basically where we're at with this. Bacci, how much is something like this on your website? So if somebody wants to start a fun little build like this, they can get a.
Well, like a stock cocker body similar to this that doesn't have the additional cuts would typically be about Between 20 and 40 is what Benji and I were
20 to
discussing
40 bucks
earlier.
with or without internals. You can sometimes find them with internals for that price if you wait long enough and look in the right places.
Yes, which is also, we were also looking at possibly getting a complete marker and then disassembling it and hot running it from there. But this is what came my way.
Right.
For everyone that's following this, at the end, we're going to tally all the prices up and we're going to see if we're at $200. But I'm keeping a tally right now, and obviously so far we're on par.
Right, so that's a pretty standard right feed body. You can find them all over, 20 to 40 bucks.
It's pretty custom. Are you going to drill any
You know what?
holes in
We
it?
should be using.
We're gonna do all
GoPro
kinds of fun
when you're
stuff.
showing parts.
Really? Should we
If
do
it's
GoPro
working.
parts
Is it
and
frozen
things?
right now, Paul, or is it good?
It's good. Hey, Andre, there's a Facebook comment from Jake Amigo. I don't know if you're willing to do this because you're trying to stay in a $200, budget, and you're trying to like build it from scratch. But he said he's willing to donate a rag for your build.
All right,
Oh,
so we got
yeah.
an offer from Jake Amigo to donate a reg to Andre's build.
Yeah, Jake.
Hot
I
Rod
think-
Build,
I
sponsored
think
by
we should-
Jake.
You should take him up on the offer, but we're still going to put a value on it.
Yeah, we have to put a value on
There
it.
you go.
So we'll take you up on an offer, Jake. You're the man. You're awesome. And next time I see you, man. But we can put a price on it and put a fair market price on it because
Oh, we'll estimate it.
yeah, we'll estimate it for him for you. So don't worry about it.
Okay.
We're gonna put a market price on it because we're trying to keep this
around $200.
around $200. If I have to hit over two, it's not. I'm not gonna hate it or anything like that. I just want to make it so feasible for anyone to go out there and build a really awesome, fun marker. And actually learn like what goes into this. This week we're going to talk about grip frames. So,
Use the GoPro.
we're
GoPro right now.
going to use the
So
GoPro now.
You
Are
can
we
see your
using this?
screen right there.
Are we using this?
Yep.
Paul, we're good. Okay.
You know, it'd be funny though if Jake donated a Sidewinder that's like a $90 rag. Yeah, it's like, oh shit, dude.
Please don't. Please don't. Don't do that.
Jake's
Well-
donating a spider gas booster.
There you go.
So it was actually there was a really cool grip frame that was on eBay recently. It sold for $30. It was chrome. It was which one was it? You remember which one it was? You said
That was a WGB
it
slider.
was a WGB slider.
It was a rebranded for WG, but it was actually a shock deck.
Okay, so it was a shock deck.
with the logo cut off that was sold by.
And then that was a slide. That was a slide trigger, right? That
Right.
one was slide trigger. So here's another slide trigger, right
So
here.
that right there is a composite WG keyframe with some Hogue grips on there.
And for those of you that don't know, who are new that are watching, this trigger right here that slides, actually horizontally in the frame. That's called a slide trigger. This is called a hinge. Doop, doop, doop.
Right, so the hinge trigger that he's showing off now is off a Trilogy autococker. That's pretty much the cheapest single hinge trigger that you're going to find on the market because single trigger die frames are going for 150 plus. What else is there? CCM frames you can get for 100, but that Trilogy frame you can often pick up a whole Trilogy for $50. So you can take a trigger off of it, sell off the rest of the Trilogy, or use it for parts.
Yeah, man, Benji totally turned me on to this. To be honest with you, I'm a super old school guy, and I'm not a huge fan of this trigger style right here. It's a little long for me, and it's almost like I like it. For the price, it's actually might win for this build. The only other option I had was this spider frame right here, which I think is awesome. This one is a composite also. It's like a plastic.
Yeah. So I was recommending for Andre to do the spider frame also. I think he should do the autococker frame for the build just because everyone can get autococker frames, but Andre, are you actually going to make the spider frame into
So
it?
here's-
'Cause you can
yeah,
do
so
a video
here's-
on that.
Here's the issue with this, guys. So I love building crap, and I know Dan does, and I know Benji's gonna, chime in, and Paul and Conor, and this thing will end up pink and with like bells and whistles and all kinds of crazy stuff. But here's the deal: we're trying to build this for you guys to use, and for you guys to kind of like take some initiative and do this yourself. This right here, I came a little early today, and we were trying to figure out how to get this to match. So the sear needs to fit properly and all the mount holes and everything. And could I get this to work? Yes. Could all of you out there in the world get this to work? Yes. Do I believe in you? Yes. Am I going to use this? No. Unfortunately, as cool as this is, and there's a Bob Long one, a dead stock one produced by Blast on eBay right now. Someone go buy it so I don't cry tonight when I go
for
home.
someone wanting to do a build
Seriously,
like
dude,
that,
it's badass.
No
Go get it. It's in the box. It's dead stock. It's $38. I really want to do this, but I'm not going to. Plus, the Bob Long one is illegal.
You'll
I'm
do it
going to do
eventually.
this. This is going to bolt directly on. If you guys can see, the bolt holes are going to fit perfectly. Sorry. The bolt holes are going to fit perfectly. Bada bing. Look at that. Boom. And the sear is going to match up. I mean, it just needs maybe a little modifying. What do you think? Maybe a tiny bit of modifying.
No, it should fit on there fine.
It should fit on there fine.
That'll go on fine. We're gonna need to get you some good grips on there.
Yeah, so
Maybe you'll have fun taking off that crappy paint job.
yeah, you know what? We're gonna trick it out. I might take off the sticker. We're gonna put new grips on here. This may or may not stay. I'm not really sure, but we're just gonna have a lot of fun.
So
Was it the
basically,
jewel?
Customize the
the
jewel.
way you're looking at it now, there's probably $30 worth of parts on there. We still need to add a reg, a ball detent, a barrel.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of all
internals,
this, yes, internals.
But I think we'll be able to keep it under 200 for sure.
So we're still going up, but this is what I'm going with, guys. If you have any cool suggestions or anything, hit us up online or right now in the stream, and we'll just make note of it. If you want to see anything cool, like I'm actually willing to cut this off if you want to see something cool with that and file it down and make it look really trick. So then maybe cut this down. Like who knows, man? We can get super fun with it, but this is what we got so far, guys. Part 3 next week.
So one thing that I'm wondering on the trilogy frames is with the stock WGP frames, you can remove the safeties and you can actually put in a cam that will adjust your trigger pull. So I'm wondering if that same cam will work in the trilogy frames. Do you have any input on that, you guys?
I'm not quite sure if it will. I don't, if I, just by the looks of it, it looks like the angle's not going to be quite right. We might need like,
Go ahead and grab another crate, Conor.
degrees.
See if
You gotta expand, Connor.
Yeah.
We're having requests for your old school knowledge. You know, last week we were waiting for your trick shots.
I know.
Never got them.
I wanted to know more about the trick
Well,
shot.
we can't do any trick shots inside. That'd be like flying a
So,
plane
we're
inside.
gonna-
Somebody's gonna take a picture of
we're
that.
We're gonna theorize a trick shot.
Did you know that a
That'll
plane
be
flew?
This one's but see, see how this
Okay,
is like
That
super-
animal probably cost
So,
a lot of money.
what
Let's
we're-
put
what
it
we're
down
actually
on budget.
What we're actually talking about right now, though, is where the safety is. Is there a safety hole in the exact same spot on the trilogy frame, Andre?
So,
Yes.
Okay, so then you should be able to remove the safety and put a cam in there. And I think what the cam will do is it will adjust your trigger pull on the sear. But I'm not totally sure since I haven't actually used one of those cams before, but it's something for you to look into if you are going to go with the trilogy frame.
Right.
Have you used those before? Those cams?
I haven't yet.
I think you're gonna want to
Yeah.
try to get a Nelson frame on there actually.
Oh, next
Did you
one,
ever
guys.
think about that?
Next one, guys. If this one goes really well and you guys want to see an old school build, we're gonna go with that. So
Yeah,
there's a whole bunch of frames. If you guys are looking to build stuff, go to BacciPaintball.com. Dan's got a ton of these things. And by a ton, I mean he's got a whole lot of these. If you guys want to have fun and build
Don't
something
show
very
everybody all Dan's treasures. Come on.
All right. So next one we're gonna talk about. Let's go. Yeah,
I'm actually going to try and bury that bucket because it's one to bury treasure, not just treasure.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You know, history vids you put up or your lap go.
yeah, let's talk about history vids. So some of the videos that I put up this week include a video with Joe Comstock. Joe played on the team Havoc, and that was an early team that played out of his field, which was tactics. And they must have dissolved around probably 88, and he joined up with Sudden Death after that. And with Sudden Death, he actually took second in the 1989 line-aside Masters for the, I think it was 15-man at that time. Well, it could have been
I think it was,
10-man.
no, I think they did the 13-man that year.
So, but in the video that I posted with Joe, it's actually a video that we recorded in January of 2014. But in the video, he talks about a game where he was playing against the Good, the Bad, and the Deadly, and the GBD, which is GBD, and in the actual match, it was down to him and one of his other teammates on Sudden Death, and Dave Bassman was the captain of Sudden Death. They were playing in one of Dave Bassman's fields also. And in the actual match, they were down to just Joe and another teammate. And Joe, and they were against, I think, 7 guys at that point. And his other teammate took out 2 and got shot out. And then it was Joe against 5. And Joe tells the story how he got all 5 of those guys out. So it's a pretty good story. And then he goes on and he talks about Youngblood recording. So a lot of cool stuff in that video. There's another video where I'm shooting a Palmerized Sheridan, which I believe would be a houndstooth, and it's equipped with a J-slot 12-gram changer. So I got my Palmer's Pursuit Sharp on, and
Nice.
Glenn Palmer's first really. I mean, you couldn't really. It is mass-produced. It's custom, but it's mass-produced. His really first product that he did in high volume was the Quicksilver, and it was introduced in 87, 88. I think it was advertised maybe in 88. And in this video, I'm shooting one of the earliest models of the Quicksilver, which actually uses a J-slot. It doesn't use a dropout changer. And, I chop a bunch of balls. I can't hit anything.
Dan
but
loves chopping balls, guys.
I'm always chopping balls. And let's see. Then there's another video with Ted Kanua. I'm not sure if I'm saying Ted's last name right, but Ted talks about playing on Fatal Swoop, Washington Rain, the Iron Men, Avalanche, Bonsai Bandits, tons of teams. And he also tells a really cool story about going down to the Sandana factory and getting some of the first Sandanas that Fatal Swoop was sponsored with. And Fatal Swoop was the first team that was actually sponsored by Sandana.
Right, they were the first ones really rocking full Venom wear on the paintball.
Mhm.
Did you know that I used to play on Fatal Swoop?
No, I didn't know that. What year was that?
Really?
Oh, 08, 09, like the newer Fatal Swoop.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it was actually 07 or 08.
Here, switch spots with Conor and give us some history on Fatal Swoop that you know, Paul.
So I don't know anything about the Fatal Swoop
Let me
history,
put that
but
on
I
the
also
list.
played with a few of the guys on SoCal Assassins for a while.
So yeah, I remember that too.
I just remember them telling me they were on Fatal Swoop, and at the time I didn't really know who they were. I was like, who's there?
Yeah, so I played basically SoCal Assassins was like a branch off of Fatal Swoop, and that's what after I joined the team they wanted to go back and bring the OG team back, and I don't remember like a lot of the players on that team, but I remember our captain. His name was Ty. He was
Oh yeah, I remember Ty.
like 6'5", like
Jeez.
Big black dude.
yeah, big, but like he was huge, and like he would always be a yeller because back in the days, yelling was like in the do, I guess.
I
And-
remember that dude.
Yeah, after a year of playing with them and getting yelled at for a whole year, I was like, "Fuck this! Like, I can't play on this team anymore." But yeah,
Amazing.
That was the only team I ever played at Huntington Beach MPPL with.
So wait, is Conor wearing the Huntington Beach MPPL jersey right now?
The umpire jersey?
The
Yeah.
Umpire jersey.
Yeah.
I don't think that's HB.
What
Is
does
it?
it say? Is it umpire or
Uh,
ref?
Ref.
oh yeah, he
Oh,
is
oh.
HB.
It
is.
is.
Yeah, no. This is
Show it off in the webcam there, Conor.
which one has a webcam?
Yeah, that one. Don't knock the vape over.
Can you see it? I don't know.
That's right, Paul. I'm gonna eat the whole burrito.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. This is a gift from
This
Jorge.
is the sickest jersey ever.
Give man just meat and expect him not to finish it. He likes meat in his mouth.
So yeah,
It's a
I
post
love-
paintball. It's a post paintball tradition, though.
Yeah.
Wet burritos, if anyone was
and it's a
wondering.
during
Hell yeah.
live stream tradition.
Anyone's
If
wondering
anybody
where we
goes-
go after paintball, wet burritos.
Taqueria Mora.
Thumbs down to pizza, thumbs up to Taqueria Mora.
Taqueria Mora by SC Village in SoCal, Corona. That's where you go. Get yourself a chimichanga.
For sure.
Chimney.
It's like I said chimney. I said chimichanga. Not chimney.
Chimichanga.
Chimney. I want extra cheese.
If you do go to Taqueria Mora, pay attention to the prices though. Don't get overcharged.
Oh yeah, if you go to Chimichanga, it's gonna say about $6.49.
Oh,
They're gonna charge
my
you
God.
$6.99 plus tax. You tell them $6.49, or I'm out of here. And they've already made your burritos.
Watch
so
those prices.
they'll give you.
No.
They'll charge you $6.49.
Oh, speaking of burritos, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but before I forget, because I probably will. In not this weekend, but next weekend, there's a SoCal Stock event at Jungle. Right? Is that the one where the dope burrito place is?
Kia,
Yes,
the
Taqueria
new
Mora.
Diamond.
Where's the one that we went that one time where it was insanely good?
Oh no,
San
that's
Jose, Taqueria, and
that's
San
at ASG.
Oh yeah, so forget what I was
That's
saying.
in
guys.
Paris.
That's in Paris. So sorry.
California.
So
We'll
if
let
you
you
go
guys
to
know.
Paris
SOG.
and do what
Yeah.
with the burrito.
So we're not
That's
playing
like a
there.
Mexican French.
Yeah, I don't know what you were doing. We're not playing it. ASG, we're playing it.
Jumbo, sorry.
would like extra tapatio on my burrito.
So
Thank
yeah,
you very
yeah, we'll be going to Taqueria Mora.
Taqueria Mora.
Let's see. What we're doing the.
We're doing the
DSR?
DSR now. So to
I just want to get my burrito a little closer to the camera for Paul right there.
So talk about some new
Not this
school
Paul,
stuff.
correct.
at I don't think it was at Chicago, but
Yeah, it was
basically
released yesterday.
yeah,
It's December 13th.
I released a new gun at one of the European events. I forget which one, but it's called the Die DSR.
Wasn't it at the French World Open?
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
Or Rafael Nadal was there.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the DSR. So if you haven't heard about it at all, it's about $800. I want to say it's like a revamp of the Die NT, and it looks like a mix between the Lux and the Axe Pro in my opinion. But basically the specs are $800 out of the box, no macro line, no eye covers. It uses the same eye pipe system that Die's been using for several years now. It's got the most air. It runs on 115 PSI, which is cool. And it's got an air-locked bolt. Now, I think this is going to battle the Shocker and the Axe Pro. And honestly, I think it's got a pretty good chance of beating them because from the video that John put up on PB Nation, it looks like it is pretty amazing.
Dude, it looks like it rips,
Yeah,
man.
it's smooth, it's fast, it's light. It's got no macro, it's got technology in there. And for $800, I don't know if you can really beat it.
So explain to me like what's
You seen the video?
what's Eclipse's newest inline valve? Is that the CS?
They have a,
CS.
I
They have a
mean,
couple.
if you're talking about ones that are going to battle this, you're talking about the G-Tech
Well,
160.
I'm not necessarily talking about the ones that will battle that, but okay, for the G Tech, what's the actual way that you quick strip on that? Is it just like their higher end where you
Yeah,
lift
up the bolt, pull
lift
back.
it up, pull it out?
I think a lot of their guns are doing that now.
But like the LV,
The lift and pull.
the newest LV model is going to just be the same. Like
Well, yeah,
I mean,
because
the-
that's not as
LV ones are always
sport.
just going to be a bolt that you pull out the top.
so. On this new die gun, it has an actual push button on the back, and
Right, and this nice safety feature it has is you can't push the button and pull it out unless it's degassed already.
so that's what I was getting at. Though, can you actually do that on the Eclipse guns? Could you actually take the valve system out?
While it was gassed up.
Yeah, while it's gassed up.
Let's try.
I haven't tried it.
You want to buy us a DSR for the show, Connor?
I'm trying to
we aren't
think.
talking about the
how it
DSR.
works
We're
on the
talking about the
M2.
Eclipse something.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
It's called CSGO model. I
Yeah,
think.
the CS:GO.
No, so
Case hardened Belgian.
It's exactly the same thing. It's just that it's a die spoolie basically.
Yeah, but can you actually take the valve assembly out while it's aired up?
No
I
way,
mean,
you can't
you're
do
gonna have
that.
crazy
Well,
leaking. if
yes,
you do it.
obviously it's not a good idea, but is it actually possible?
Yes, I think you could if you pulled it out and you fought against the friction of the.
There's no
air
actual
going in.
safety mechanism on the Eclipse models that will prevent
No.
you from.
But once you do that, like the arrow would just be like fucking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as
no,
soon
the
as you
air will be
start-
spewing
realize
out
that,
everywhere,
like,
yeah.
it's not something that you're going to want to do.
You could. I mean, I'm pretty sure someone beastly like Mike Paxton or like Dave Baines could just easily just
Andre.
force it out,
Just
or
rip
Andre.
Yeah.
I've seen
But-
Andre unscrew his power tubes while his air assembly is actually aired up on his Nelspot 007. I've seen Andre
I might have.
take his Sheridan valve tool out and unscrew the Sheridan valve out of the actual valve chamber while his Sheridan BGP is
Yeah, with
actually
one
aired
hand,
up.
with the gun between my legs, and talking to Dan
Oh
at the
my
same time.
gosh!
Yeah,
And getting strategy from Benji. Just
With
like,
Between the legs is a dangerous spot. To
But,
do that.
you know
He's
what?
just good at what he does.
he had his flip off plug in, so it's all
I
good.
feel like, and I had my Mitch's bike cup on,
Yeah.
so that and that's like extra protection.
Did you
Yeah,
have Aunt Linda
I gotta
check it?
say-
Make sure it was up to par.
With this gun, it's arguably, in my opinion, the best gun that Die has released since like even the DM7. Like, I don't think there's really been. Well, you know the M2 shoots pretty nicely, but it's still got a $1,200 price tag. You have this gun, which has all the technology in it for $800.
So based on specs, without shooting it yet. You're
Well,
just like,
actually,
oh.
from the video, it seems like it shoots really nice too. It seems like it has less kick than the Axe Pro. I think it's a little bit longer.
So the one thing bad about the eye guns though is like you buy it for $800 this year, you're gonna lose half the value next year.
Well, that's definitely been the case with the DMs. You know, the DM 14, 15, whatever. As soon as you buy it, you're dropping half the price.
Yeah.
We
It's
all
horrible.
know that. But maybe this one, like the Shocker started at $800 and you can find it for $500, $600 now. I think you're going to see the same thing with these guns. I don't think you'll see them lower than $500, $600 in a year or so, which is pretty on par. But yeah, if you go and buy a new M2, you're dropping $400 or $500 off the price as soon as you buy it.
Why do you think that you won't see it under that price point next year?
Uh,
What do you think will actually allow it to retain its value?
They're not gonna make a
I think-
DSR2.
Well, I think it's who's buying these because, you know, the $1,200 gun, you have people who are buying it because it's the newest, hottest thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but they're not really attached to it as a player's gun. Then you have the guys buying guns for $300, $400 who, you know, I think most of the time are somewhat newer, novice players. Maybe they don't treat it right, or maybe they just want to try a new gun because they haven't tried that many more. But an $800 gun like this, I think, is made for a player who knows what he wants. He shot all the highest end guns. He shot the lower end guns. He knows that this gun is going to be consistent. It's going to shoot right, and there's no reason for him to sell it. There's no reason for him to upgrade. Because if he's looking for the newest, hottest thing, he's not really buying this gun in the first place. It's not flashy.
Okay, so then that takes us into our next segment. Is this the right gun for me? As a new tournament player playing for Bocce's Bad Boys, competing in the beginner level of the NXL with my 5-man team.
I think if you got the
There
cash
you
to
go.
spend, I would still argue if you're a newer player, just spend $350 and get yourself an Axe Pro. But if you're someone who's playing NXL and you're planning to play all year, you want a gun that's consistent, go for it.
So the upkeep and the actual wear on the die valves is...
It's not too bad. I would still argue, well, that's for people who like DMs. If you're looking in the same price range, I would still go for an LV1 or an LV 1.1. Cause
Yeah, but I don't want used. I want new because I only buy new.
If you want new, it's going to be between the DSR and the Shocker and the Axe Pro.
Cool. All right, I'm going to write that down here. Probably going to buy one next
And-
I
time.
suggest probably
honestly,
the Brass Eagle Talon. You can get them at Big Five.
The Rainmaker.
For the
you
money,
made. The
they're
Rainmaker's
all
in
pretty-
that toy bracket.
If you're actually going to spend the $800, I would get the Shocker or the DSR, not the Axe Pro. But I would say get the Axe Pro on the used market and save yourself half the purchase price.
Yeah, but the Axe Pro is like the butt of the show. So, you know, I
Who
want to get
says?
everyone.
Maybe the Axe. It's always Axe plus cash. No one is ever asking Axe Pro plus cash.
All right, so what's our next segment here? Let's do Paul talking about... Oh, I guess we're talking about your...
Not really. Well, okay.
Not really.
Real quick, this is a Naughty Dogs Intimidator. It's from 2005. This is when limited edition guns and team guns actually had cold milling. So you can see in this year they had the Naughty Dogs, the A-Bomb, the Species, the Iron Man, the 2K2, the Alias, the Dark, what am I missing? The Hellwood, the Flame. These were all custom guns, and if you look them up, they are so different in the milling. They look they almost look like different models. I mean, not different models, they look like different platforms. But nope, they're just different 2K5 or 2K3 Intimidators, really. This is a 2K5, or a stock 2K5 Naughty Dogs Intimidator.
Oh, this one's that light?
Yeah, so we were, you can see the frame is the 2K5 frame. The 2K2 frames are clamshell style, and they have a lot of small screws which tend to get broken off.
I've really only seen this. I don't pay that much attention to Timmy's, but I've only
Right.
seen this model in red, and some that are all black with the mask red paw.
Right. Well, the bigger
So-
difference you'll see between the 2K2s and the 2K5s also is where the LCD screen is. On the 2K2, the LCD screen is going to be on the top center left side of the trigger frame, while on the 2K5s you have the LCD screen in the grip as shown there.
Gotcha.
Also, the I don't know if you would call it a front block on the Timmy. They totally revamped that in 2K5.
Right. But the body is exactly the same 2K2 to 2K5.
Oh. So could you get a 2K to body, like take your red body
And stick a 2K5 frame on it for sure.
The only thing you would need to do is drill a bigger hole for the front block for some of the.
Yeah, the real difference comes in the 2006 Intimidators, where you have the Empire and the Infamous Intimidators, which is a very different body style. It's smaller, shorter, but they just work so much. They were poor shooting markers.
You say poor shooting markers?
Poor, yeah.
Like
They were in
used to
great.
shoot poor people.
Yep. I mean, that's what
That's
Bob
messed
Long.
up.
That's what Bob Long was tempting them on. He would have just a crew of homeless men that he'd pick up, and he'd do like, 10 shots is $1. And
I mean, I would do 10 shots for $1
That's fair.
at the fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, rake that trigger on there.
10 shots for
Look at
$1.
that technique. I love that.
yeah, so if you guys like that, I have a Dark and the Russian Legion Intimidator that I can show off next week. So,
Cool. Okay, Paul, SFL.
That's what?
SFL.
SFL?
You want to trade spots with who's,
Show us the
who's our hot-
It looks like he wants to
Oh.
sit. You want to do the SMGs?
Yeah, let's do SMGs.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, are you guys gonna duel?
Yeah, we're gonna do it right now.
Dan and I are definitely going to have a duel at some point with these things. Dan is going to show off and talk about the SMG 68 a little bit. I'll give a little
I'm gonna put my clip in
preface.
right now.
I'm gonna have some questions after your spiel. About these.
Yeah, for the
Okay.
people who don't know anything about the SMG 68s and are just tuning in, the SMG 68s were the first Titman fully auto gun. Or no, that was the FA.
So
Basically, they're fully auto guns. They run with the clip on the side with little 4 or 5 round stripper clips. But the SMG 68s, most of them were converted to 68 specials. So you don't really see too many 68s.
So to kind of backtrack a little bit,
Yeah.
the SMG, this is an SMG 68, not an SMG 60. And Titman's history is that David Freeman of PMI and of Direct Connect partnered with Dennis Titman to actually start TPI, Titman Paintball Inc., I guess that's what it is. And that was about 85, and the actual Titman SMG was released in, I think, March of 1987. And then their next marker was I think it was the SL68-1, and what am I missing here?
Just
Just
blowing
68.
smoke over, like you're behind like a fog machine because you can't see him. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, so the SL68-1, and then after the SL68-1, I believe Titman came out with the SMG 68. And David Freeman, as president of Titman, was trying to convince Dennis Titman to come out with
Paul, give me the picture.
a semi-automatic. And around that time, David Freeman was kicked out of Titman, and Titman actually had his family fund him instead. And at that time, it was right around that time that the SMG 68 would be released, and the SMG 68 was actually released as a semi-automatic because a lot of the SMG 60s, which used the fully automatic triggers, were actually banned at fields around the country because of the fully automatic option on it. And so you typically will see SMG 68s with a semi-automatic trigger, but it still uses the same magazine on the side. I know if I say that wrong, and I always do, I will get some flack for it. So the magazine, which holds your clips. And the actual clips hold 5 balls each, and this was not a very effective gun, but maybe it was more effective than the SMG 60 because you're not blowing your whole load in like 1 second.
Don't
You
blow your
have-
load.
You have about 15 shots, I guess. So you can see they're actually loaded in from the front if you're
That's
assembled
another
like this.
episode of
Yeah.
PBDnA.
So they're actually loaded in from the front,
Late night.
and you will, don't mix our magazines up. But yeah, you'll load them up. Actually, mine is a little bit too bashed in. I need to expand a little bit. But
Wait, so are these fully auto or?
Benji's has had the sear swap so that it will shoot as fully auto.
Okay.
But
Is it,
mine,
isn't it the other one?
no, they come. Oh, we're talking about
Yeah.
But yeah, they come stock as semi-automatic, and that's what would actually allow them to be used on the fields around the country. But yes, these were not very effective guns.
So
and
they all came with semis.
Yeah.
the SMG 60
Was
Which
not, right.
was fully,
I-
and the
yeah.
SMG 68 was semi
Okay.
because they wanted it to be a semi-automatic handgun.
So from the guys that I know from SoCal Stock or from Black Sunday that have actually used these back in the day, they all say that you couldn't hit the backside of a bar with these things. That someone would just be point blank from you, ripping at you.
Yes, but that's
Not
typically SMG 60s because of the smaller projectile, or the smaller mass of the projectile. So another thing to consider with these, which Benji mentioned, is that many of them were converted into actual Tippmann 68 specials, which was released in 1990. So these would be released in, I think, 1989, and then soon after, the 68 special would be released in June of, or it could be July actually, probably July of 1990 at the Bay City Open in Vallejo.
I'm wondering with the 60s having such a bad spread, how accurate are the 50s nowadays?
The actual, like,
The
we were
50
shooting
cal,
across the
the
caliber.
paintball soft.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't played Paintball Soft, so.
I think that's you're just trying to.
Oh yeah, probably. I'm so
Honestly,
smart.
Dude, you're fixing everybody's guns.
Are you sure that's not Benji's magazine?
You're
though?
too nice.
You even
He
know.
has his. He has his.
This is your gun.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see a little bit more to talk about with the SMG 68s. They are hard to find now.
Not sure exactly how many exist.
Probably about 1,500 were made, but the actual amount that were not converted over to direct feed, we don't know about that. And so another thing to think about with this, with the SMG 68, is that the SMG 68 is a semi-auto paintball marker, but it is not a direct feed semi-auto paintball marker. So when Glenn Palmer says he made the first functional semi-automatic paintball marker, well, actually, his Camille predates this anyway, but he's also talking about saying there were some automatics before his, but his was the first functional. Because having these as magazine fed and clips in the magazine does not make it, as Benji said, a very usable marker on the field. Like, not very competitive. You wouldn't want to go out with Bocci's Bad Boys and play the NXL with this. You'd want to get the, what's it called, the DS, the
DSR.
DSR. The DSR.
So don't you do some stock versus magazine games? Have you done that? Does anybody show up with one of those modified for?
No one
coins?
has yet. No one has yet, but I might.
I mean, you shot 60 full auto, right?
Not with paint yet.
They're crazy.
It's
I mean,
fun.
it's like it just jumps around.
I just
so
want one of
much.
the extended clips. Actually, wasn't that you asking if you could just have one long clip?
Yeah.
I
And then you were
that'd be
like,
cool
you
if
were like,
just
oh,
had
Jeff could make one or something like
I
that.
think that it
Just
would
like,
get too hot
if
when
there'd
we
be
shoot
like
at all those
a
paintballs.
30-ball clip going through, just
See if
sticking
Jim
out
pulls
here.
it.
You just.
Okay, so another thing to think about with that is Dennis Tippmann's first paintball gun, which he only produced in prototype type models, was 60 caliber, and it was actually the drum-fed, basically a drum-fed SMG 60, and that probably would have been
Wait, what was that?
85.
Was
Yeah,
that
the
long?
first prototype. It doesn't necessarily have a name. It's just the first gun, the first paint gun that Dennis Tippmann made was an actual drum-fed.
Is who you know who owns that?
I think it's in the Tippmann Museum.
There's only one of them. That'd be pretty cool to check out.
I don't know how many there actually are.
That sounds like
Uh-oh.
something's coming up.
Sounds like
there.
Rosette's here.
Uh-oh.
Sounds like you're gonna be in trouble, Andre. You better get out of here.
Oh, that's me.
This homeless
Bye,
guy
Andre.
parked in your spot.
Like 8 times, and I just got almost murdered by like 8.
Okay, so I guess our live stream's over. We covered a few topics, and we got a little bit too carried away, but
We did. We took too long to set up, but it's 9/11.
yeah,
Good time to
Yeah.
end, I guess.
I guess so. So more topics next week.
What are we going to
Watching,
talk about
everybody.
next week? Before we go,
A ton.
next
Andre.
week.
See you, Andre.
Hold on, wait. I'm gonna just put stuff away and then I'm gonna leave. Bye, guys.
Oh, we didn't talk about our die SS barrels at all.
All right,
so
well,
next week we got the die SS barrels. We got the slow motion paintball collision. Talking about Colin Thompson. Talking about some signature series autocockers. The Blizzard Anno Timmy. And some Brass Eagle branded JT Spectras. If you have anything else you want us to talk about, just message us. Let us know. Other than that, thanks for watching.